we better give you your cap back, though, eh? Thank you very much. We'll enjoy your swamp water. Should we open our card here? It's a Merry Christmas to us from the Oakville Aquatics Club, wishing us a splashing, very merry Christmas. I always liked swimmers. I always thought they were great people. Well, thank you very much.
What a nice surprise.
Now, who have we got here, Mike?
Right behind the folks from the Aquatic Club. Is one walker. Now, just off camera is Lil Ringer?
Lil Ringer?
Lil Ringer, yeah.
We're coming over to say hi to us. Lil Ringer's from Bell, Canada. Here he is. Jerry? Oh, well, we lost him. Little Ringer is the Bell Canada Safety and Accident Prevention mascot, and she's making her first appearance in the Santa Claus Parade. There he is. He's appropriately shaped Bell, and he stands about 5'5" in height. Is brightly colored in gold with vivid blue lettering. There he is. And he's recently introduced in a children's Halloween safety program, and Little Ringer will be participating in a variety of safety and community programs. There he is.
In the background, passing at the same time, Debbie, was a St. Paul's Youth Group float. It will appear they put a fair bit of time into that float as well.
And they did well. They won second prize in the youth group float, and that was sponsored by Maple Grove and Food City. So that was a really super float, worth the effort. I'd sure like to know what the prizes were. Oh, I hear bagpipes, Mike.
Now this is something. This has caught me off guard. This is the Sheridan College pipe band. I didn't know there was a pipe band there.
I didn't either, but let's see if we can find anything here about them. Sheridan College Pipe Band has 20 members, and they're in their 7th year. Earl of St. Andrews Tartan and Sheridan College colors, and their director is Bill McPhail, and the pipe major is Bill Matson. Let's listen. My favorite. Like a good way to keep your lips warm. Now, if I didn't know better, I'd say the people just in front of this Merry Christmas banner here.
More precision riding from Ryan Lang and his 8 mini motorcycles.
I've got these listed as the pocket bikes, and the participants we have here are Ryan Lang, Steve Alger, Glenn Hammer, and Susan Hammer. The pocket bikes have been in Canada for about 5 years now, and they're made by Jackson, a Japanese company. They're 36 inches long, 13 inches wide, and 19 inches high. And they have a 3-horsepower, 37cc engine. And their slowest speed is 30 miles per hour, but can attain speeds of 60 miles per hour when totally modified. The cowling comes in red, white, or yellow. And they've given me a price, but I don't think we need to do that. And this looks like...
Here's the folks from the Union of Public Employees, QP. We have representation from Oakville Transit.
And if I didn't know better, I'd say that looks like a bus.
That sure does, with a lot of messages in a number of foreign languages.
Joyeux Noël, Feliz Navidad. And that's as far as I go.
And that's as far as I'm going to try, too.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher that. I remember in town a few years ago, one of the bus drivers, I think, got married to one of the dispatchers or something, the likes of that, and I remember their wedding party riding through towns in buses. Yeah. Oh, here's somebody from Oakville Transit giving us candy cane.
Thank you very much.
I'll hang that candy cane in my Oakville Aquatics Club swamp water here. Flavor it up a bit. Oh, here we're picking up some passengers. That's a job that would be an interesting job. I know in Oakville we have a lot of really super bus drivers. I took the bus for 4 years over to the GO train, and after a while all the drivers know your name and they say hi, and they're a really super bunch of people.
Meet a number of interesting people, absolutely. Here's the folk from the Oakville Optimists.
At the front of the float, I'm talking about the Optimist float. Christmas trees remind us of the Optimist tree sale at Hopedale today until Christmas. The hockey player represents the team's both clubs sponsor. On the right-hand side of the float is a winning car from the Optimist annual Soapbox Derby. That's a job that would be an interesting job. I know in Oakville we have a lot of really super bus drivers. I took the bus for 4 years over to the GO train, and after a while all the drivers know your name and they say hi, and they're a really super bunch of people.
Meet a number of interesting people, absolutely. Here's the folk from the Oakville Optimists.
At the front of the float, I'm talking about the Optimist float, Christmas trees remind us of the Optimist tree sale at Hopedale today until Christmas. The hockey player represents the teams both clubs sponsor. On the right-hand side of the float is a winning car from the Optimist annual Soapbox Derby. However money is raised, yard sales, hot dog trailer, Bazaar's annual Shrimp Fest, all the proceeds go to the youth of this community, who are honored during Youth Appreciation Week by the Optimist and Optimist and Optimists Club. I've never heard of that. Whose slogan is Friends of Youth. Well, I mean, I know who the Optimists are. I guess I've just never heard of that before. Hey, ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 somebody says.
There's our ho, ho, ho.
Enjoying some nice warm popcorn. There's the Optimist float. Boy, they're having a good time, aren't they?
Again, another well-prepared float parade this year.
Let me see. Oh, well, there we go. Talk about well-prepared. They're second place in the Community Float Division, and their prize was sponsored by Country Squire Inn. Third prize were the Oakville Seniors, and first prize was the Oakville Christian School, whom we've already seen. Now, here's people that we are familiar with around town, the Canine Vision Canada people. They're fairly new in the Oakville community the last couple of years, and they train the guide dogs for all around Canada. And I'm sure we've all seen them at one time or another walking their dogs, various different breeds up and around Oakville, and doing the fabulous work that they do. I believe the director there, his name is Larry Kane. I know he's been on my show on CableNet.
It's the 8th Oakville Boy Scouts. They're floating about 50 of the Beavers.
The Beavers.
Along with
their
them.
float's entitled Christmas at the Beaver Pond. There's a little beaver there sitting on the back. Oh, and a raccoon. And that's what Christmas looks like at a beaver pond.
It's a relatively new branch of the scouting movement. It was an opportunity to bring the younger boys into the scouting movement in preparation for Cubs.
I love their hats. They're the little beavers. Just behind them, we've got Surrey Park, a community within a community. Greetings from the Surrey Park community. And their floats filled with some children all nestled snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums, I'm sure, dancing in their heads. Just in front of the fireplace there. I don't know how I came up with that.
The 5-Star Ranch, Debbie, and how about naming a couple horses here?
Oh, I think Joe and Sam and,
got me.
No, I'm sorry. Okay. That's not very good, is it? Is the black and white not a palomino? Isn't that what you call a palomino?
I think you're probably right.
Gee, you have a lot of faith in me, don't you?
I sure do. Until those cards and letters start flowing in and saying, you're absolutely wrong.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
But that's a great guess.
Now, who's this pushing his car along? This is a new concept. He's not riding in the car, he's pushing it.
I hope that isn't an indication of times to come here, but this is a representation from the Baker's Dozen Corporation. And I think he's had it.
Oh my, he looks like a baker if I've ever seen one.
And once again, our friend doesn't know quite what to make of him.
Another one of the active, businesses in our community. They're always getting involved with things. There's some of the really little guys getting held up by Dad there.
Just down the parade route, here's my old alma mater. The group from Thomas A. Blakelock High School.
You know the colors, right?
I know. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. I couldn't resist.
I'm sure this is a prize-winning float.
What can you tell me about Blakelock?
They're on Rebecca Street in West Oakville.
Yes, Blakelock won the second prize for the high school float sponsored by Longo's Fruit Market. What do they got on their float there, Mike?
This looks like an at-home scene by the looks of things.
Boy, this aquatic swamp water sure is tasty. Got to have your obligatory close-up of the good-looking women there.
That's right. Should I yell cartwheel now?
Never mind.
Here's a good look at the float coming by. In fact, an at-home scene, indoors and out.
A lot of high school enthusiasm there.
A lot of work put into it.
Looks like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And, oh, look at all the Disney characters. There's Snow White and her dwarves. Oh, almost. Who's that coming up behind them there?
This is the Emerald Knights Drum and Bugle Corps. Contingent of 25 with us today.
Yeah, they have 25 members, and they've been also running for 7 years. They're the 1980 Ontario and Canadian Champion B class. Their ages are 10 to 21 years, and in August of next year, they're going to go to Kansas City for the North American Championships. Their business manager is Judy Burke.
Oh, good luck to them.
What's the song, Mike? The night away. Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle Bell Rock. There we go.
One of the more up-to-date 1980s Christmas tunes. She looks nice and warm, eh? The earmuffs.
She sure does. Her and her friends are with the Burlington Optimist Club Majorettes.
And just behind them are the First Bronte Cubs and Beavers. First Bronte is the oldest community operating a scouting group in Oakville, and their charter was approved almost 59 years ago in 1929. The theme of their float this year is The Night Before Christmas. The group won first prize in the 1980 parade, second prize in '81. The scarf they wear is the most unusual. It's a black neckerchief with 3 white stripes to commemorate the 3 battles fought by Lord Nelson at the Battle of Trafalgar.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Now, the First Bronte Beavers won the first place for the youth group float, and I can certainly see why.
I think so. Again, a fair bit of time put into this float.
Followed by another one of our clowns.
And coming up shortly, another entry into the parade that we heard an awful lot of before the parade actually began. As those tiny, tired eyes look on, I know what she's looking forward to. Here's the folks at the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
This boat just before them is from Bright's Marine on Spears Road, and it says they're the Christmas Express. Oh, look at all those toys in the back there.